Welcome to the deep dive.
Good to be talking transfers again.
Absolutely. And you can always feel it in the air, can't you? When the football transfer window opens, that buzz.
Oh, yeah, it's undeniable.
Yeah.
It's just this period of intense speculation, isn't it?
Totally. It's not just, some dates on a calendar. It feels more like like a high-stakes carnival sometimes.
That's a good way to put it. High-stakes negotiations, clubs making massive moves.
And everything can shift so dramatically for a team's fortunes. For fans, for us, for you listening, it's always that same mix, isn't it? Hope, excitement.
A fair bit of anxiety, too, let's be honest.
Definitely anxiety, wondering who your club's going to sign, maybe who's on the way out.
And crucially, what it all means for the season ahead. That's the bottom line.
Exactly. So today we're taking a deep dive into that world. Specifically, the 2025-2026 football transfer window. We've gathered the sources, look at the key dates, the types of players out there, those big market values.
Yeah, and we're aiming to unpack it all. Give you a bit of a shortcut, really, to understanding the landscape for the big clubs.
And we're paying particular attention, as the sources guide us, to two huge names, Real Madrid and Manchester United. We're asking, which players actually look like a good fit for them in this current window.
Right. It's about looking at the strategy, isn't it? The nuances behind the headlines. We'll highlight some maybe surprising facts.
And try to get beyond just what's happening to why it matters for these clubs, for the leagues.
It's about the bigger picture, the tactics, the money, the long-term vision.
Precisely. Okay, let's get into it. Let's unpack this. First up, navigating the actual landscape, the timing of this 2025-2026 window.
Yeah, because the schedule itself is, it's pretty unique this time around, especially in England.
Unique is the word. It's got some new wrinkles that you really need to pay attention to.
What immediately jumps out from the sources is how the structure has changed for English clubs, which often kind of sets the tone.
It's not just one long summer slog anymore, is it?
No, exactly. There's this distinct split, which is quite new.
Right, this unique split. First, there was this early mini window, picked off back on Sunday, June 1st, 2025.
And slammed shut really quickly, didn't it? Tuesday, June 10th, 7 p.m. British summertime.
Just 10 days, a tiny little sprint right at the start. What was the thinking behind that?
Well, this is the really significant new part. Our sources are clear. It was specifically brought in for the clubs playing in the expanded FIFA Club World Cup.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it allows them to get players signed before the main window even opens. It just highlights the massive demands on these clubs now with those global commitments.
Especially with that Club World Cup changing so much. It's a huge tournament now, isn't it? 32 teams.
Exactly. Every 4 years from 2025, it is a huge chunk of games, a whole new preparation phase. So for those clubs, getting players in early, it's not just nice to have, it's almost essential.
Right, for squad planning, fitness, getting everyone integrated before that big tournament kicks off.
Precisely. The old schedule just wouldn't work.
So for you listening, you've got to think, how does this change a club's strategy? Do they gamble early on targets because of this pressure?
Or do they hold back, wait for the main market to open up properly?
Because that main summer window, the one we're all used to, that's also running now, opened Monday, June 16th.
And that runs all the way through until Monday, September 1st, also closing at 7 p.m. BST, the traditional long haul.
Plenty of time for drama there, then.
Oh, always. That's where most of the big sagas play out. It allows for more negotiation, more reaction to how the market develops.
And then looking even further ahead.
We've got the winter window, scheduled for Wednesday, January 1st, 2026, running through to Monday, February 2nd, 2026. Closing time on that one is still TBC, apparently.
So 3 distinct phases, but that early mini window, that's the real strategic curveball this year.
Definitely gives an advantage, or at least an early opportunity, for those Club World Cup teams. They can potentially lock down key targets before everyone else really gets going.
It's a clever move by FIFA and the leagues, really, to make their new calendar work.
And while the sources focus on England for that mini window, they do say other big leagues, like the Bundesliga in Germany, they're mostly following similar dates for the main summer window, generally closing around September 1st.
So it's a fairly standard rhythm for the main part, just with this targeted early start for some.
Yeah, it forces clubs into a multi-stage approach. Plan for the mini window, then the main summer market, then potential fixes in January. It's complex.
Okay, so we've got the when sorted out, these interesting new timings. The next big piece, obviously, is the who, the players themselves.
Right.
And our sources draw a really clear line here between two different categories of available players. It's a crucial distinction.
It absolutely is. It basically shapes how clubs approach their targets. On one side, you have players whose contracts run out in summer 2025, potential free agents.
And on the other,
Players who are still under contract but are, the big targets, the ones who will cost serious money, a big transfer fee.
let's talk about the free agents first. Because the idea of getting a top player without a transfer fee, that must be incredibly tempting for clubs like Real Madrid or Manchester United, right?
Oh, massively tempting. On paper, it looks like a huge financial win. You're saving potentially tens, even hundreds of millions that would normally go to the selling club.
And that money doesn't just disappear, presumably.
Exactly. It often gets channeled into higher wages for the player, maybe a hefty signing-on bonus, significant agent fees, or it frees up budget to strengthen elsewhere.
But you said on paper, so it's not quite a free lunch?
Not really, no. The free part is a bit of a myth. Yes, no fee to the selling club, but the overall financial package can still be enormous. Huge signing bonuses, often structured cleverly for accounting, plus those agent fees can be astronomical.
And these costs hit the books differently to a transfer fee,
Yeah.
right? Affects things like financial fair play.
Precisely. A transfer fee gets amortized, spread over the contract length for FFP calculations. Wages, signing bonuses, agent fees, they often hit the profit and loss account much more immediately. Impacts cash flow, the wage bill. It's a different kind of financial strain.
Plus, the competition must be fierce for the really good free agents.
Intense. And the sources make a key point. Just because their contract is expiring doesn't guarantee they become free. They might still sign a new deal with their current club right at the last minute.
Or they could sign a pre-contract somewhere else.
Exactly. That's the other big factor. For international moves, players can sign a pre-contract agreement with the new club 6 months before their current deal ends. So typically from January onwards for a summer expiry.
Which means clubs need to move really early if they want to snap up a free agent.
They do. It requires planning months in advance, committing significant wages and bonuses often before the season's even finished, sometimes without knowing exactly what your squad will need come summer. It's a gamble in some ways.
So it's not simple. Pursuing a free agent means battling rivals, moving early, and probably paying massive wages.
It's a different kind of investment compared to paying a transfer fee.
Which brings us back to that core strategic choice for clubs like Real Madrid or United. Do you go for the free agent maybe older, higher wages, but no transfer fee, or spend big on a contracted player maybe younger, potentially resale value, but a huge initial outlay?
It's a massive balancing act. Immediate impact versus long-term planning. Financial prudence now versus investment for the future. There's no single right answer. It depends on the club's specific situation and strategy.
And you wonder what kind of player profile is actually good for Real Madrid or Manchester United in these scenarios. Are they hunting bargains or investing for the long haul?
Well, let's look at some of the names on that potential free agent list for summer 2025. Because according to our sources, it's packed with quality.
It really is. Let's start with a huge one. Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool. And the source is very direct here. Heavily linked with Real Madrid. That's potentially massive news and directly relevant to our focus on Real Madrid.
It's a fascinating potential move. For Real Madrid to potentially get a player of his caliber, his unique skill set, without a transfer fee, that would be extraordinary.
Talk about his skill set. He's not just a standard right back, is he?
Not at all. He's known for that incredible passing range, like a quarterback sometimes. His crossing from deep, his set pieces are world-class, and tactically he's so versatile. He can play right back, drift in midfield, even play as a proper central midfielder as he has for England.
Which seems like a perfect fit for how Real Madrid play under Ancelotti, that flexibility.
Absolutely. They love players who can adapt, who offer different tactical solutions. Adding Alexander-Arnold could strengthen their right side, give them even more creativity from deep. Imagine his passes finding Mbappe or Vinicius Jr.
And potentially freeing up other players or allowing different formations. It feels like a very targeted, strategic potential signing for them, doesn't it? Adding a specific, rare profile.
It does. It suggests they're looking for those unique pieces to enhance an already stellar squad, rather than just adding numbers. Getting him on a free aid would be a masterstroke, though obviously Liverpool will be fighting hard to keep him.
Of course. But that link is strong, according to the sources. What other big names are on this potential free agent list?
Well, sticking with Liverpool for a moment, Mohamed Salah, his future is described as uncertain.
Another massive name. A goal machine for years.
And his teammate, Virgil van Dijk. although the source says negotiations for an extension have begun with him.
Still, the fact these huge figures at Liverpool are even in this situation points to maybe a wider shift, doesn't it? Established stars reaching contract ends.
It really does. It forces clubs into tough decisions. Re-sign older stars on big wages or look to refresh the squad. Even if Real Madrid or United aren't directly in for Salah or Van Dijk, their potential availability affects the whole market dynamic for top players.
Then there's Leroy Sane at Bayern Munich.
Yeah, another interesting one. Contract talks apparently delayed because of inconsistency.
That word inconsistency is telling, isn't it? For a player with his raw talent, pace, dribbling.
It's a huge factor for top clubs. They need reliable performers, week in, week out. Occasional brilliance isn't always enough if there are long dips in form. It makes clubs hesitate, especially on big contracts or transfers. For a team maybe like United looking to build consistency, that's a factor they'd weigh very carefully.
And Kevin De Bruyne at Manchester City.
Growing speculation about a move to MLS, the sources say.
Which shows how even the absolute elite might look elsewhere later in their careers. Maybe opens up space and budget at City, too.
It certainly does. And it speaks volumes about the growing appeal of leagues like MLS for global stars. Again, not a direct target for our focus clubs, maybe, but his potential move impacts the wider European market for midfielders.
Okay. Who else? Jonathan Tah from Bayer Leverkusen is mentioned.
Yeah, linked with Bayern Munich and Barcelona. A strong commanding center back, key to Leverkusen's success, shows the demand for reliable defenders.
And Jonathan David from Lille, described as a highly sought-after striker. What makes him stand out? He seems to come up a lot.
David's got a really modern profile. He's not a huge target man, more agile, intelligent movement, great finisher with both feet, and he works incredibly hard off the ball.
So, fits that pressing game lots of teams want.
Exactly. And he consistently scores goals in League One, which is a strong league. He's young, proven output. You can see why he'd be attractive. For a club like Manchester United, who sometimes lacked consistent goals from the number 9 spot, he offers youth, finishing, and that work rate. He seems like a potentially very good fit for their needs.
A very interesting profile indeed. And the list even mentions Lionel Messi and Neymar.
Yeah, currently at Inter Miami and Al Hilal, respectively. While they're unlikely for Real or United now, the sources note their situations are always globally interesting. Their star power just endures.
It's a reminder of their global pull, even if they're past their European peak.
And just to reiterate that key point from the sources, expiring contract doesn't automatically mean free agent on July 1st. Deals can still be done with current clubs, pre-contracts elsewhere. It's fluid right up until the last minute.
Right. That pre-contract window starting 6 months out really ramps up the early pressure and competition. Needs smart planning.
Absolutely. Speed, decisiveness, and deep pockets for wages and agent fees are key in that free agent market.
Okay, so that's the landscape for potential free agents. Let's pivot now to Section 3. The deals that have actually happened, the confirmed transfers.
Yeah, this is where we see the real money being spent and get a sense of the market's current price points. These deals set the benchmarks.
And Liverpool have been busy here, according to the sources. Florian Wirtz, the young German star from Bayer Leverkusen, confirmed to Liverpool the fee, a massive $116 million.
Wow. That is a statement signing, $116 million.
Huge. And his Leverkusen teammate, Jeremy Frimpong, also confirmed to Liverpool for $29.5 million.
Another attacking fullback, very dynamic player.
And Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth, another fullback, confirmed to Liverpool for £40 million.
So significant investment from Liverpool, especially that Wirtz deal. $116 million for a young attacking midfielder. That tells you the premium on elite creative talent right now.
Absolutely. It shows clubs will pay top dollar for players they believe are truly game-changing generational talents. Wirtz definitely fits that bill. And the fullback signings suggest a clear tactical plan from them, too.
But this is where it gets really interesting for Manchester United and answers our question about who's good for them.
The what?
Matheus Cunha from Wolves, confirmed to Manchester United for $62.5 million.
Okay. That's a big concrete move for United. $62.5 million for Cunha. What does that tell us?
It's a very significant investment, a real statement of intent under the new structure at United. Cunha's a forward, can play centrally or wide, known for his work rate, linking play. He's a proven Premier League player.
That Premier League experience often seems key for United signings, doesn't it? Less adaptation time, maybe.
Potentially, yes. And spending $62.5 million suggests they see him as a key part of their immediate plan, someone who can contribute right away. It feels like a pragmatic signing, Maybe not the absolute superstar name some fans crave, but a solid, reliable attacker who knows the league.
So what does that fee, $62.5 million, signal about United's broader strategy, especially thinking about FFP?
Well, it's a lot of money, no doubt, but it's maybe not in that absolute top tier, the 100-pound-meter plus category like Wirtz. It suggests perhaps a focus on proven, established talent that offers reliability, rather than gambling huge sums on potential alone or getting drawn into massive bidding wars for the very biggest names.
Investing in stabilizing the attack.
Seems like it. After some inconsistency up front, Cunha offers versatility and a known level of performance. For FFP, that 62.5 meter gets spread over his contract length, making the annual hit more manageable than perhaps a shorter deal or a free agent on monster wages. It feels like a calculated investment in immediate contribution.
It definitely tells us they identified a need and were willing to pay a substantial fee to fill it with a specific profile. A concrete answer to that "who is good for United" question.
And it reflects the market for versatile forwards, too. With pure number 9 scarce, players like Cunha who can do multiple jobs are highly valued.
So beyond those confirmed deals, the sources also list other prominent players consistently linked with moves. They might not have a direct link in our sources to Real Madrid or United right now, but they're high-value players any top club would be aware of.
Exactly. This is the pool of talent that shapes the wider market. Names like Victor Gyökeres at Sporting CP.
Had an incredible goal-scoring season.
Benjamin Sesko at RB Leipzig, another young striker with huge potential, and Victor Osimhen at Napoli, who's been linked with big moves for ages.
All strikers, different styles, but highlights that constant demand for goals.
Always the premium position. Then you have Nico Williams, the winger from Athletic Club. Very exciting player, pacey, tricky.
We also see Rayan Aït-Nouri from Wolves and Tijani Reinders from AC Milan mentioned, both linked with Manchester City.
Which is interesting. Aït-Nouri, a dynamic left-back. Reinders, a controlling midfielder. It shows how even a team like City, already stacked, are constantly looking for specific upgrades or depth. Their recruitment is relentless.
And then an intriguing one. Joe Bellingham, Jude's younger brother, at Sunderland.
Yeah, the source says he's expected to make a step up to top-flight football.
Represents that pathway for promising youngsters, doesn't it? Clubs spotting talent early in lower leagues.
Absolutely. He's a midfielder, showing huge promise. While not linked directly to Real or United here, top clubs constantly monitor players like him. It's about balancing immediate needs with future potential. Real Madrid have always blended stars with youth. United have a history of developing young talent. This type of player is always on their radar.
For sure. And even if Real Madrid or United aren't, according to these specific sources, chasing these particular players right now, the fact they're highly rated means competition would be fierce and prices high if they were interested.
Exactly. Which brings up that big question again. How do these top clubs balance spending big now versus investing for the future, especially with FFP always looming?
It's the $1 million or $100 million question, isn't it?
It really is. Depends on their immediate goals. Need trophies now? Maybe you pay the premium for the established star. Building for sustained success, maybe you invest in that high-potential youngster, even if it takes time. Real Madrid have actually done both very well recently, buying stars like Bellingham and Mbappe, but also nurturing talents like Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo.
It's a complex strategy. Okay, let's move to the absolute elite tier now. Section 4, the most valuable players.
Right. This is based on market valuations, often from places like Transfermarkt. It gives a sense of the theoretical peak value in world football.
And crucially, as the source points out, this list doesn't necessarily mean they are available for transfer. It's about their potential value if they were on the market.
Exactly. It reflects age, performance, contract length, potential, marketability. All those factors rolled into one hypothetical number. These values can change fast, too.
It's a snapshot of who the market considers the absolute crown jewels of the sport right now, an indication of the financial firepower at the very top.
It's also a measure of asset value for the clubs who own them. Long contracts protect these investments.
And here's where Real Madrid's strategy really comes into sharp focus again. They don't just target these players, they already have a load of them.
It's quite incredible when you look at the list. Jude Bellingham, valued at $180 million.
Kylian Mbappe just arrived, also $180 million.
Vinicius Jr., $170 million.
And Federico Valverde, $130 million.
4 players from the very top of the valuation list already in their squad, 3 of the top 5. It just underlines their incredible strength and depth.
It tells you they're already stocked with players considered good for literally any team on the planet. So their transfer approach can be much more selective, right? Fine-tuning rather than desperate rebuilding.
Precisely. When your core includes young, world-class, high-value players like Bellingham, Mbappe, and Vinicius Jr., you're negotiating from a position of immense strength. You can afford to be patient, wait for the perfect fit, or target very specific profiles like we discussed with Alexander-Arnold.
It's a result of years of planning and consistently acquiring that top-tier talent.
It really is. They often seem one step ahead in securing the next generation of superstars.
So who else is on this most valuable list, the absolute elite according to market value?
Well, topping this particular list, according to the source, is Lamine Yamal from Barcelona, valued at $200 million.
Wow, at his age, that's unbelievable.
Speaks volumes about his talent and potential, a winger already making a huge impact. Then Erling Haaland at Man City, $180 million.
No surprise there. Goals guaranteed.
Bukayo Saka at Arsenal, $150 million. Pedri from Barcelona, $140 million.
Florian Wirtz, who we know is off to Liverpool, also valued $140 million.
Jamal Musiala at Bayern Munich, another fantastic young talent, $140 million. Cole Palmer at Chelsea, after his breakout season, $120 million.
Declan Rice at Arsenal, $120 million. Alexander Isak at Newcastle, also $120 million.
Rodri at Man City, the anchor, $110 million. And Julian Alvarez, also City, $100 million.
It's a genuinely star-studded list. And while, again, our sources aren't directly linking most of these as incoming targets for Real or United right now,
we can definitely talk about why they're so valuable and what makes them good for any elite club, hypothetically.
Take Yamal, $200 million value. It's that combination of extreme youth, current ability as a game-changing winger, and sky-high potential, isn't it?
Absolutely. Players like him, Musiala, Saka, Palmer, they represent the future, but are already delivering at an incredibly high level. Any club would want that blend of immediate impact and long-term security.
And the strikers, Haaland, Isak.
Pure goal threat. Haaland's record speaks for itself. Isak offers pace, skill, finishing. For any team, having a reliable, elite goal scorer is perhaps the most valuable commodity. That's a universal need for success.
Then the midfield controllers, Pedri, Musiala again, Rice, Rodri.
They're the heartbeat of top teams, controlling the tempo, breaking up play, providing defensive security, starting attacks. Pedri and Musiala offer creativity and dribbling from midfield. Rice is that destructive shield. Rodri is just tactical perfection in that holding role. You can't dominate games without elite midfielders like these.
They provide the platform for everything else.
Exactly. They're fundamental to success.
So looking at this list, it raises that question again for clubs like Real Madrid, who already have several, or Manchester United, who aspire to get back to that level consistently. When the price tags are this high, how do you decide where to invest?
It becomes incredibly strategic. It's not just who's the best player available, but who solves our specific tactical problem, or who gives us an edge for the next 5 years. It's about finding value, even at these astronomical prices. What unique quality does this player bring that we don't already have?
Is it a positional need or adding a different dimension, unlocking new ways to play?
Precisely. At the very top, it's about those marginal gains. Finding the player who elevates the whole system, not just fills a gap. It requires incredibly sharp analysis of your own squad and the potential target.
It's a fascinating challenge. The success isn't just buying stars, it's making them work together.
That's the art of squad building at the elite level. It's about the collective, how the pieces fit.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We've covered a lot of ground on this 2025-2026 transfer window.
We really have, from those unique dates, that early mini window,
to the main summer and the upcoming winter periods. We've looked at the big difference between potential free agents like that Trent Alexander-Arnold link to Real Madrid,
and the high-value targets needing big fees, each with their own risks and rewards.
We've seen concrete, confirmed deals setting the market tone. Matheus Cunha joining Manchester United for 62.5 million fours, a significant, pragmatic move for them.
And Florian Wirtz to Liverpool for that huge 116 million fee, showing the price of elite young talent.
And we've looked at that list of the most valuable players in the game, highlighting the incredible strength Real Madrid already possess with players like Bellingham, Mbappe, and Vinicius Jr. already on their books.
Yeah, their existing roster really shapes how they can approach this window.
It really does. So the transfer market, it's always this dynamic beast, isn't it? Shaped by strategy, money, calculated risks.
Absolutely.
Considering everything we've discussed, the expiring contracts, those huge confirmed deals, the mind-boggling values at the top, What does this landscape tell us about how clubs like Real Madrid and Manchester United are evolving their strategies? Is there a lean towards free agents, or is breaking the bank for the very elite still the main path? And how does that choice affect their long-term plans for winning trophies?
It seems like a mix, doesn't it? Real Madrid seemed positioned to be selective, maybe targeting specific profiles like Alexander-Arnold on a free, while already having secured the elite like Mbappe. United's Cunha deal suggests maybe a focus on proven performers at high, but not astronomical fees. Finding that balance between opportunity, cost, and long-term vision, that's the challenge.
Definitely something for you, the listener, to keep an eye on and mull over as this fascinating transfer window continues to unfold.